Hello, hello. How is everyone on this bright and shiny still Monday? I am trying to find, oh, there we go. Okay. I'm super excited about the time change. I know we all lose an hour, but I will be honest with you. I love it when it is lighter, a little bit longer when I get home. So that is very nice. It was nice to drive home in the light instead of the dark today. All right, I'm going to share it over to my Simply Elizabeth group. And then I think I am there. Hello, hello. All right, we're going to jump right on in. And hey, Verna, how are you? We're going to jump in and do the prizes from last week. So I have Kathy Tremblay. This is for you. And Kathy, I don't have your mailing address yet. If you will message me with it, then I will get this in the mail to you. Or if you want to get it next class, you can do that as well. The next one is, oh, and that was some ribbon. And then I have Kathy Goldie. And Kathy, I have your mailing address. So I will get this out to you as well. All right. Then for next week's giveaway, we have the bundle called Wildcats. So I'm going to give away this bundle. And I'm just going to give away one prize so that since it is a bundle, it's a little bit more expensive. So I figured it would be easier though, because this is on the Savings Are in Bloom, which I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like these are ones that are going to retire since they're putting them on sale. So I am going to start giving away a couple of these bundles until the end of March when that sale is off. So this, for next week, this will be Wildcats. So make sure you comment and then you share, and I will draw a name for next week. Okay, let's see, what else do I have? Don't forget that right now with any $50 purchase in my online store, using the host code that is in the description of this video, I, at the very end of the month, will give away a mini cut and emboss machine to one of my customers who spends at least $50. So let's just say you spend $100, then you would get your name in there twice. And that is before tax and shipping. So just know that. But I will be giving away a mini cut and emboss machine on March the 31st. So get your orders in. I've got quite a few of them already that I've put into the hat. So that makes me very, very happy. The other thing is, let's see. Where do I go? Where do I go? Let's see. I've got a disaster over here. I'm trying to cut for several classes and all of that. So I feel a little discombobulated, I guess. This is the On the Horizon card class that we did a couple weeks ago. And for March, I am offering this as either a class to go for a cost of $25, or you can, or if you purchase certain limits or whatever, then you can actually get the class for free. And then you get like other items that go along with it. If you're interested in that, email me and I can send you all of the information. And if you have already ordered this, which there were several of you who did, who just ordered the kits, then I will, those have already gone in the mail. So you should already have them. And then I've got a couple extras that I've cut just to stay on top of it. And then the last thing I have for y'all tonight, information-wise. Hey, Miss Carol, thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Sharon. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Vicki. Did I get everybody? I think so. Everybody that's commented anyway. I think I gotcha. Tomorrow ends our March Club. So if you're interested in March Club, I think I have one spot left. Yeah, last week I had two, so I only have one spot left to get into the March Club. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Club is $39, and with Club you get a pack of this DSP, and then and this is the Abstract Beauty, and then you get a bolt of the linen thread. You can order the bundle, but you can order it at cost, but it does not come with actual Club. So you would have to purchase that separately or already have it. But with Club, you get these two items, and then you get the make and takes to make all 6 of these projects. Okay? All right, so that is that. Now, after Tuesday, you cannot join the club for March, but you can, on the 16th, you can subscribe to do the April club, which I've already designed those cards. And I'm going to have to say, I think these are probably some of my favorite cards I've ever made. I absolutely fell in love with this bundle. I wasn't sure I would like it, but this one is using the Blessings of Home. And I was always a little worried about it because of the flowers and it's just being the 2 images, but the sentiments is what I bought the whole stamp set for anyway. But anyway, I decided to use it for Club, and y'all, I have seriously fallen in love with the stamp set. I stamped the flowers a whole bunch of times and just started coloring and cutting, and I fell in love. So this will be Club for April. So you would start registering for it or subscribing on the 16th of March. And with this month's Club, it's going to be 6 cards. I've decided from now on, Club is going to always be 6 cards instead of the 5 that we were doing before. So it's always going to be 6. This one will include a half a pack of the paper. And this is the Heart and Home DSP. And then it'll include a bolt of the linen thread because y'all know I love it. And then it's also going to include a pack of the Bumblebee trinkets. I've ordered a bunch of these, so I should have plenty for Club. So don't worry about that because that will be retiring soon. So anyway, just know that that is Club. There is a link in the description of this video that you can connect on. Blessing of Home is the next on my wish list. Is it really? Verna, you're going to like it. You and I talk about the whole flower thing all the time. And girl, you know I'm not really a flower girl, but I'm becoming one. But this one, it's easy to color. But then it just, like, depending on what colors and stuff you use, it really does pop. But honestly, the sentiments make it the best. I absolutely love the sentiments. So, anyway, so that's Club. So, if you're interested, let me know. Hey, Marsha. I am so glad you made it. Yay, and I love that you updated your Facebook now so we can see your beautiful face. You're not just the Facebook screen. Okay, I think that is it. I'm pretty sure that's it. And tonight we're doing things a little different. We are going to create some St. Patty's Day projects. And honestly, Stampin' Up! Doesn't really have anything for St. Patty's Day. But y'all know I love holidays. So I've created a few things with different sets. And I pulled them out from Stampin' Up! And kind of made them St. Patty's Day. We have a stamp set that does say, like, May the Luck of the Irish, which is a wish for everything. Yes, a wish for everything, which is in the annual catalog. But I looked at everything that I have and tried to pull from it in order to create today's projects. So this first one we're going to do is my 3D. Y'all know I had to do a 3D. I was going to do something else, but then I found these suckers, and y'all, I sing and loved them. So they were technically for Valentine's Day, but look at them. It was color your mouth pops, so it does change your mouth colors. I'm pretty sure I found these at either Dollar General or Family Dollar maybe. I can't remember which one. But they were for little Valentine classroom exchange. So they have these little Valentine's cards in them. But look, the colors really reminded me. Oh, well, of course, those are all blue and green, right? Hold on. They reminded me of the rainbow. So I was like, yeah, I have to get these. And I have to do them for St. Patty's Day. So even though they were hearts, I fell in love with them for St. Patty's Day. So that's what we're using now that I've made all that noise. I'm going to do some Easter treats with them too. So I'll post when I finally make those. But we're just going to do a little quick, simple holder for it. I'm going to pull in all my stuff for it so I can show you what I actually used. Okay, so our paper is the host paper. That is for, it's the pattern party paper. Hold on, make sure I get that right. Y'all know I lose it all. Yeah, pattern party DSP. I'll lose it all when I go live. So that is this paper. And then I pulled in pirates and mermaids because this right here is like a pot of gold. I know it's not really a pot. It's a pirate treasure box, but that's okay. We're all okay with that. We can turn it into a little bit of St. Patty's Day. It was small enough to go on a little tag, so that's why I picked it. And then here's the Wish for Everything, which is technically a two case stamp set, but I put all mine into one. And here they all are. There's some really good sentiments that are throughout, but there is a St. Patrick's Day, but then this one, May the Luck of the Irish go double for you. That's what we actually use for that one, okay? And then, let's see, what else did I use for this one? I used a lot of stuff. A lot. Let me pull it out real quick. Hold on. Okay. And then I used these dies right here, the Brilliant Rainbow. So I used that die, and then I used that for the tag. So it gave it, you know, more rainbow. And then for the little coins here, I used the gumball machine dies because these right here cut out the gumballs, but then this one here cuts out that little like coin that goes inside of it. So that's I know it's a lot, but you know, you kind of have to step outside your box just a little bit. So what I need to do is I actually need to grab a piece of grid paper because we're going to do some coloring. And you're thinking, hold on. Okay. So you've probably noticed this ribbon right here. This ribbon is not in a catalog, at least not this color, right? Excuse my dirtiness over there. I dropped a drink on it. We are actually going to color our ribbon to make it. And it's this right here, which is part of For the Seasons. And it's a combo, it's a trio pack of ribbon in the annual catalog. Okay, so let's get started. I think I've got everything organized and together now. All right, so let's start here and stamp our oh, Carrie, yes. I have to like plan the St. Patty's Day ones like forever in advance. I have to like start thinking about like the different stamp sets and dies and all that we have in order to get the St. Patty's ones. Because, you know, it's about the only holiday that Stampin' Up! Doesn't really give us dies and things like that for. So, we need a good St. Patty's Day one soon. For sure. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment, and I'm going to use Granny Apple Green to do that. And I'm just going to stamp it right down here on the bottom. Okay. I'm going to close this up. All right, let's move all those aside for just a second. We're going to take our ribbon and we're going to go ahead and color it. And all I'm going to do is take the dark granny apple green and I'm going to start coloring. And the reason I'm coloring it now is just to make sure that it gets completely dry before I go and tie a bow with it, just to make it easier. And I'm going to make sure I do enough of the coloring for it to make sure that I can make a bow, a decent sized bow. All right, I think that should be enough. Let's do just a touch more. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that off so that we have all that. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to move that ribbon and my pen for it, so I don't stick myself. And then we're going to set that aside just so that it can dry. And you will notice that it does go through on both sides. If you see any little areas, you can definitely go over it, which let me do over that one. That's a little too white for me. There we go. Okay. But it will go through so that you can see it on both sides. Okay, so now the next thing we need to do is we need to color our treasure chest here. And I'm going to color the outside of it. And of course, because it is St. Patty's Day, we're going to color it green. Make sure we get in those little lines. Now I'm not coloring the handles or the lock on the front because that we're going to color yellow so that it looks like it's gold. All right. Now I'm going to take the light granny apple green. I'm really not doing any shading. I'm just doing. I don't think it's too small to really shade, but I did want the inside to look a little less like the outside. Okay, and then our coins are going to be yellow, so we're just going to do the whole thing yellow. Because you know all that underneath it is coins as well. They just don't show it. And then we're going to color all that. Okay. Oh, and then make sure you color your coins that are laying down here. There we go. All right, so let's see. Now let's take, I think that should be it for that. Let's take our sentiment and go ahead and cut it. And I brought in my little trimmer here. And we're going to cut as close as we possibly can to the edge of the words. And then we'll flip it and do the same thing. Okay. And then we are going to trim off there and there. Okay. And then the next thing is we need to, I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and right here after the Irish, I'm just going to cut it right in two. Okay, so there is our sentiment. So now we've got all our little pieces there for us to create our project. Now we need to score this, so I brought in my trimmer here to make sure I get the right one, or get the right size. I might need to move it up here so y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay, so this piece is 6 1/4 half. Okay, so we need half of the 6.5. And all we need for our sucker is about 1/4. So I wrote down the measurements so I wouldn't forget, because you all know I have a bad memory. So we're gonna score at 3 1/8 and 3 3/8. And I'll make sure I do this right. All right, so 3 1/8 is going to be right after, it's going to be the second notch right after your 3. All right, and then you're going to score it with the light gray. And then we're going to move it to 3 3/8, which is, there's your 3 1/4, and it is 2 notches after that. Okay, and it's easier to trim something like this where you have those small numbers like that. It is easier to use your paper trimmer than it is to use your big scoreboard. Just so you know that. Okay, so all we're gonna do now is just fold on those 2 score lines. Make sure I did those measurements right. Ta-da, I did. All right, then we're gonna take our sucker and we're gonna put it upside down. And we're just gonna kind of lay it right there in the center. We wanna make sure that the wrapper is not showing on either side. And then we're gonna take a stapler. Actually, before I take the stapler, I'm just gonna fold these down like this. Just the edges of them, because I don't want to staple the actual wrapper. Okay, now we've got that in there. So now we're going to pull that stapler in, and we're just going to staple right here on that side, and then we're going to staple on this side. These would be great treats for kids, grandkids classes, those kind of things. Just real simple and easy. Now we're going to take our take our ribbon that we colored, and we are going to tie a bow. And I kind of wanted a larger bow, just to kind of take up some space on the top of it. Okay, and then we're going to trim off these ends down here. And you can see, actually we can make that a little smaller. Make it a little smaller. Okay, there we go. I think I like that. Right there and there. All right, and then we're going to take some glue dots. And I'm going to put 2 glue dots on there just to be on the safe side, because it is larger ribbon, so you can fit 2 side by side there. And then we're going to stick it right up here so that it is covering up those staples. And if you know you're giving this to a younger child and you don't want those staples on there, you can definitely do glue dots too to keep it together. That's totally fine. And then you could even glue dot the sucker in there. They're not going to keep the paper in the end anyway, so you don't have to make it so that they won't rip it apart, you know? Okay, so we've got that. Now let's take our little tag here, and we're going to just take it and put it as close to our knot there as we can, and we're going to pop that up with some dimensionals. All right, and we're going to do it at an angle. Right about like that. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and put on our rainbows. So this is my smallest one, so I'm going to stick this in. And what I used to put these on was just glue dots. So we're going to go 1 on this side. For this smaller one, you really only need 2. Again, you're not really trying to keep it together for a long period of time. So This side, you'll notice though that the glue dot is hanging over just a little. So just kind of roll it onto itself and it'll be fine. The one that goes underneath doesn't need to have anything. Oh, but you know what? There we go. Okay. And now we're going to do the next one. And this one I'm going to put 3 glue dots on it. So 1 on each side. And then 1 in the center. And I probably shouldn't have stuck my label down yet, but it'll be all right. Okay, so on these that have the glue dots that will show, just again, fold it onto itself. Like that. And then we're just going to pick that up. And I'm going to line up that side like that. Okay, and then our largest one. Now the largest one you can cut. So just cut off like that because it's going to stick really far under and you don't need that. So, and then you're going to do a glue dot on the cutoff end. And then you're going to do one on the end that will show. All right. And I'm picking that up so I can slide this underneath. All right, we're going to take this off just for a second. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now let me put this back on. Yeah, so definitely, which I didn't, this one I put that on first and then put the rainbows on, and I didn't seem to have a problem. But again, I wasn't live, so that's usually the way it works, right? Okay, now let's do our sentiment. And we are going to do, we need to do small. I'm pretty sure that's too wide. That probably is. Let's see. Oh, that one's just perfect. So we'll do that. And we'll do this right across here, like that, with a dimensional. And then we're going to do this one with a dimensional as well. Okay. And we're going to stick that one right there. Okay. Now, the last thing we need to do is just add our gold coins. And we're going to use glue dots for those. These will fit perfectly on a glue dot. And I just randomly stuck them. There really is no rhyme or reason. I did do 3, kind of like it was an embellishment, so it was the odd numbers. But that is about it. Okay. All right, so there. And then there. Okay, so there is the little sucker holders. Very simple, very quick. Let's see, every year I wish Stampin' Up! Would. Joanne, me too. Me too. Every year I hope for something St. Patty's Day, something that I could even hold on to if they retire it. And it takes them 10 years to bring it back, right? So, you know, you can simplify this too if you wanted to. You don't have to put the rainbows on it. But I thought that kind of made it, bringing out that green a little bit more. So anyway, all right, so there is that. And then let me clean up my space really quick so that I can bring in the next one. And sorry, that grid paper is really bad. I need to bring in my prettier grid paper. I dropped a drink on it. It was hot chocolate. And yep, it is nasty looking on the corner, but it still works, right? Okay, I think I've got everything moved. There we go. Okay, the next one is a card. And I'm gonna have to say, I love this one. It's not my favorite. The next project is my favorite, but I love this one. I really wanted the green gingham plaid background. Like I really, really wanted that. So we don't have it. So I decided to create it. Well, we have one, but it's much softer. And so I wanted something that was bright and bold. I also wanted to have a pot of gold, like a real pot of gold. So this comes from the gumball machine. This is for the cutout that you do to make the shaker card. So let me show you a shaker card. This was a shaker card I made. And this is what cuts out in order for you to have the shaker part dome for the gumball machine. But when you lay it down like that, it looks like a pot of gold, right? So that is what I did. So I used that. And then of course for the hearts and all of that, I used the Give It a Whirl dies, which y'all know is my favorite. So I used the hearts that were in there, all 3 of them. And then I also used the Banquet of Love because I like that one. That is a little too large for this project, but this little one here is stitched just like the Give It a Whirl, so it allowed me to cut out multiple hearts at the same time. Okay, so let's get started. Hold on, let me put this back in so I don't lose it. Okay, so we're gonna start out first by bringing in all the supplies, and I've done all the die cutting, so y'all don't have to watch me do that. And then we've got our paper here, and the first thing we are gonna do is we're gonna fill this in with some shaded spruce. All right, and make sure that when you are doing your blending brushes or any kind of blending, that when you ink it up, first put it off onto some grid paper or scrap paper before you put it onto the actual piece you want to add color to. Otherwise you'll have a big old blotch, and you don't want that. And then I'm just gonna spread it so it'll get it all even. And just know that for whatever reason, the shaded spruce will get on your hands. But my trick is every morning I wash my hair with shampoo and it comes right off. You know, all that ink from the night before, it's awesome. Shampoo is great for getting ink off of your fingers and your arms, and you know, your leg when you drop the ink pad down on your lap. So those are things that happen, yes, on regular occurrences for me. I'm clumsy. I'm very, very clumsy. And I'm messy. I'm very messy. Like, I'm organized, but I'm messy. I will end up with ink everywhere. Okay. So this is colored enough for me. So I'm going to move that. Actually, we're going to keep this piece really quick. We're going to go ahead and stamp our pot of gold. And we're going to actually heat emboss with gold embossing powder. So I'm going to bring in my embossing buddy. Stampin' Up! Does not sell these, but you can get them from anywhere. Amazon, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. They are everywhere. Okay, we got Versamark, and then our stamp set that we are using for our sentiment is Season's Blessings. This is all about the plants, but may your day be filled with good things. I thought that was pretty good for St. Patty's Day, so that's the one I went with. So we're going to ink up really well with our Versamark. You want the largest part at the top, because that's kind of your, well, you know, that makes it look like the leprechaun pot, right? Okay, and we're just going to stamp it down in the center. Make sure, I hope it's straight. Nope, it is not straight at all. But that's okay, we're going to go with it. We are going to go with it. All right, and then I'm just going to take my gold embossing powder. And I'm just going to put it right on top. I'm going to flick it off just a little bit. And then we're going to heat it up. All right, so this is going to be loud, and I'm sorry. I'm going to move everything out of the way, though. It does take it just a couple of seconds to really get heated up. So typically I don't put it on until, you know, it's gotten really good and hot. And then we're just gonna, I'm just putting my finger on the edge of it so it doesn't move. But be careful because these things will burn your finger pretty good. All right, so it is a little crooked, but not too shabby. I can work with that. All right. So then we can now start adhering our card together. And I'm gonna pull in all the hearts that just blew away when I turned the heat gun on. All right, so here's my card base. We're gonna attach this to the front of it, and we're just gonna use some Stampin' Seal for it. Maybe. There we go. It's a brand new one. I just put this in. And apparently it doesn't want to work. All right, let's try it now. There we go. Had to get it started. All right. And then we will put this right on the front. I tried this one with doing a basic black card base, and I'll be honest with you, it became a little too dark, and so I didn't want it to be that dark, but you could always change it out to do shaded spruce for your card base, or you could use, you know, that basic black, but I really felt the basic black made it too dark. All right, so we're gonna put this on, and we're gonna actually pop it up. Let me grab that one. I'm gonna put it there. And there and there. Make sure it stays on nice and well. Okay. And then we're gonna stick it right here. Like that. And then we're just gonna start building it. And honestly, there is no rhyme or reason to it. I am going to hold out this heart though, so I can put it right here with my ribbon. And all of these are literally just fastened down with adhesive. So I didn't do any popping up of the actual hearts. I was going to, and then realized it didn't matter. It didn't change the look of it or anything like that. So I liked them better all flat. So I went through and took all of the dimensionals off. Okay, so we're gonna put that one there. Actually, oh, yeah, let's do a little one. For the little ones, you could do glue dots, which would probably be smarter. We're gonna stick this one right here. All right, and then let's stick this one here. And let's do a gold one. And this is just gold paper, or gold foil sheets, and then shaded spruce, just so it all matches. All right, we're gonna stick this one like that. And then let's do this one here. Let's do another gold one right there. Trying to move it along a little faster because y'all don't really need to see me put all these on, right? Let's actually hold off on that one. Let's add another green one real quick. And even though this is a large one, I'm just going to use the glue dots since I've already got them in my hand. All right, let's put this one here, right there, and then we'll put this little one here. And let's do that one there, and we'll stick this one here. And then we've got two little green ones that we can just randomly put in. We're going to put this one here, and then, and I'm out. Let me grab my other one right here. I was prepared for running out. All right. All right, these glue dots are really sticky. There we go. Goodness gracious. And then we'll stick that one right there. Okay. You could space it out a little bit more like I did here. Either way is fine. I got a little happy with shoving them all together on this one. Okay, so now we're going to put a dimensional on the back of this heart. And before we put it on, we're going to take some of the Simply Elegant trim. We're going to take the gold and we're going to tie a bow with it. And I'm tying a pretty large bow just because I do want it to show on either side of that heart that we put down. All right, I'm going to put this back in the bag. And then we're just going to take a glue dot, these really strong ones, and we're going to stick this just right here at the edge. Take off the back of that, and then our heart is just going to go right on over. Okay, so that is our second project. Oh, you had no, oh yeah, the shampoo, Joanne, is the best. It is, seriously, it gets everything off your hands. I probably should put some over just by my sink so that I can wash after every time I get done crafting. So, all right. And thank you very much for the compliment on the card. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's do our last project. And the last project is actually my favorite project. And this is kind of what I had in my head when I first saw the catalog for St. Patty's Day. Because, well, of course the rainbows, but we have this sheer vellum glitter paper. Well, sheer, and then it's like glimmer. And I love it, and I thought, oh, that would be a good green for St. Patty's Day. But then, in our new mini catalog, this Happy and Heartfelt, lucky me. Now, is that intended for for St. Patty's Day? Probably not at all, because all the other sentiments are like Happy Mom Day, we celebrate you, hello baby, you know, you matter to me. So I'm pretty sure this is not meant for St. Patty's Day, but I feel like it is. So this stamp set was a must because of the sentiment. So, oh, I already have it out. Just kidding. So we are going to take that sentiment, and I have here, of course, I'm using the Brilliant rainbow dies. Wherever I put those, right here. So I'm using those dies. And then this right here is our basic border die, which if you don't have these, you need them. These are a must. These are, I use these all the time. That one and that one I use a good bit, but the cloud one, of course, with the rainbows, I use it a good bit with the rainbows. So the cloud one is probably my favorite one, but this one I've used a bunch as well. And the zigzag one, that one's pretty good too. So if you don't have them, you need to add it to your list. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Okay, so let's do this. We're gonna actually cut this down so that it will fit on the front of the card. So let me go ahead and do that really quick. Actually, let me get my regular trimmer for that. Okay, so we need it to be 4 1/4 across. So I'm just gonna line it up there and then just cut down. All right. And now, and on the card we're gonna make tonight, I'm gonna move that Lucky You, or Lucky Me, I'm gonna move it up just a touch. And I'm gonna use some Evening Evergreen ink. That's a mouthful to say. We're gonna ink it up. And then we're just gonna stamp it down. And honestly, with this, because of the font, it doesn't even matter if it's straight. It just looks straight anyway, which is great. It's another reason to have this stamp set. Okay, so we're gonna set that aside. Now we're gonna kind of put our card together. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and wrap our ribbon around. And we're using this from the annual catalog, and it is just shimmer gold ribbon. Very easy to remember. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back. And I'm going to wrap this around like that. Then we're just going to trim it off. And now I'm going to take and flip it back over. I'm going to stick it right up underneath there. And I'm literally just going to tie a knot. Like that. And then if this is like bending at all, you can take and just loosen that ribbon up just a touch. Sometimes that'll happen whenever you add something the way I just did. Okay, and let's trim off those edges, those little tails for us. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go ahead, while I'm here, I'm gonna put dimensionals on the back. And I'm not gonna get too close to the edge because it's gonna hang off onto that, and so it does make it a little wobbly. So I'm just gonna kind of hang it a little from the edge. And then in the center, you know I'm going to put a lot of dimensionals. All right, let's put that one there. We'll just leave that one there. Okay, and then there, and then let's just do one more right here. Right down the center. Okay. All right, now we're going to set that aside. We're going to take this paper right here, this DSP, which is the Pansy DSP, Pansy Petals. There's some really good patterns in here. For those of you who don't know, I don't like pansies. I don't like the look of them, but I love the backside of all the paper. So, good DSP, and this will be retiring soon. So, when the annual catalog retires in May. It's coming up before we know it. All right, let's just go ahead and adhere this. Oh, I did forget to tell you all. In the description of this video, I will update the link to my blog. as soon as I get done with cooking dinner so that you can get all of the measurements and stuff. But you can go over to my blog, which is simplyelizabethcrafts.blogspot.com. Sorry, I just drew a blank there for some reason. You can go over there and actually get all the measurements and stuff for the cards and the projects that we used. So I do a little layout for you. And then up close pictures as well. Okay. We're going to fold this. And then we're going to take this and we're going to pop this one up. And I'm apparently struggling with getting these edge dimensionals off. All right, one more, and I emptied that sheet tonight too. Yay. Okay, we'll take all this off. And then we're going to stick it on our card front. And then we're going to take these pieces right here. Now, these are vellum, and a lot of times I tell you with the vellum, be careful with your adhesive. But with this, with the colored part, you cannot see underneath that I've got that adhesive running all the way down. So on this one, on your colored vellum, have at it with your adhesive. We're going to start with the large one, and I'm literally just going to run adhesive across it, and then I'm just going to fold on top of it those that went over the edge. Like that. I'm going to make sure I got it all. Yep. Now I'm just going to take this from the top, and I'm lining it up to the edge of the white piece. Okay, and we're going to line up the edge and then just let it fall. Okay. Oh, and that is not straight. Ah! Let's try that again. That would be the way it works, right? It's not going to fall straight. There we go. Let's see if we can get it. There. Okay, now we got it straight. Now let's take our next piece and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to run adhesive down, and we're going to make sure that we get all of the adhesive tucked underneath. And then we're going to come over here, and what I did was I really kind of just gave it one little like box, almost one little extra box there, just so I could kind of figure out my spacing. If it's not perfect, it is just fine. Don't be too particular about it. It's a handmade card. Hopefully no one is really going to look at it and critique any of your mistakes. Boy, if they did, I'd be in trouble for sure. Okay. All right, so let's do it with this one again here. So we're just lining it up to the edge of that white and then letting it fall right down. All right, and then one more. And we'll line this one up. And there we go. Okay, so there's our rainbow. And now it doesn't matter about the bottom here because we're going to cover it up with our piece here. So now we can take off all the backings for this one. And there we go. And then we're just going to line it up, I'm going to try to line it up so it's even. Let's do it like this. That didn't work as well as I thought it would. There we go. Okay. All right. And then the last thing we need to do is we need to add this to our inside. Actually, we have one other thing to do after that. So we're just going to put this piece on the inside. Right there. You can see that a little bit is hanging over here. If that bothers you, you can always take a little trimmer and cut it off. It doesn't matter to me, so it definitely covers up that green on the bottom there, so we're good. All right, so the last thing I want to do really quick is I want to give, I thought it was kind of plain, so I wanted to add just a little bit to it. And so what I did was I'm going to grab my ugly grid paper again. I'm going to put this in the center of it. I grabbed my Stampin' Right marker, the Evening Evergreen, so it matches the sentiment. I'm taking the brush in and I'm going to stick it in my cap, and then I'm just going to flick it right onto my card. Now, when you do this, make sure, especially with the vellum, that you let it dry before you start playing with it. Because otherwise, not only will you end up with this if you decide to do some blending with the blending brush, but you will get the ink all over you as well. Okay? All right. So those are our projects for tonight. Thank you, Verna. I have to say, I love coming up with the St. Patty's Day ones, and I think it's because it's a challenge. Like, it really is a challenge to find what Stampin' Up! Has that you can use for St. Patty's Day. All right, let me pull all these in. I'm going to put that on there loosely. And then here is this one. That was our first project. And then there is our other messy project. All right, guys, don't forget that club last day to sign up for the rain boots, for the flowering rain boots, is tomorrow. $39. Don't forget, let's see what else. Don't forget that for the month of March, for every $50 you spend, your name goes into a hat for a free, or for a drawing to win the mini cut and emboss machine. So don't forget about those. And I think that's it. Oh, and well, and the savings are in bloom. So all these stamp sets are 20% off right now. So get them before they are gone. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, I will update the blog post link as soon as I finish cooking dinner. I will get that there, and then we'll get the replay up on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, thanks. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you later. Bye.